Hello, how are you? Okay, today I want to talk about how to get dominion over yourself, really, like how to get dominion over your life. We keep hearing about how we should change our mindset and be more present and be more in the now, but nobody actually tells you how to do it. So I've developed a way of doing it because I reached a point in my life, quite a few years ago now, maybe 13 years ago now, where I really felt the need. Like I was desperate to get dominion over my life. I was desperate to understand what my purpose was, how I could get control of my health, both mental and physical health, and I've worked out how to do it. Done a lot of work. I've done a lot of studying. There's been a lot of trial and error, but honestly, like I'll tell you straight off the bat, I found my entire purpose through self-healing and meditation. So we'll start with that, but I do want to move on to why I went through to develop my own methodology, my zone method, because there's so many books and advice and people saying, oh, just find a better feeling thought, and that's not going to cut it. It doesn't cut it. No amount of vision boards and affirmations is actually going to cut it. And I'll explain briefly in this video, because I could talk to you for 10 hours about this, but I will explain briefly in this video why it's not going to cut it and what you can do about it. There's more to it than that. And I'm going to tell you what that is. So 13 and a half years ago, I entered a very deep depression. I felt physically completely disconnected from everything that I knew, everything that I believed I was, just the person that I was. Like I was just disconnected, and I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. So it was a massive shock to my system. My son was still young. I honestly don't know how I got through it, but I did. I got to the point where I was really desperate and I knew I had to do something about it. And I went through all kinds of phases. So throughout my healing journey, but the first thing I did is I remembered that I'd done Reiki level 1 and 2 previously, years ago, while I was pregnant with my son. I'd remembered that I'd done that, and I thought, oh, I'll just give that a go. I'll do some self-healing, see if it works. I hadn't done anything with Reiki at all. I couldn't even remember the hand positions, to be honest. I later found out that it's not even important, but I couldn't even remember the hand positions. So I had to dig out the information, and I just did some self-healing. And then I decided to couple that. I started to feel a little bit better, like a little bit better each day. And I was doing it every day, twice a day. And then I decided to try to meditate. I just decided I was going to have some introspection. I was going to meditate, get out of my own way. I didn't have any expectations. I think that's a really important part. I think that's why I was so successful, if I'm totally honest. I had zero expectations. I was prepared to allow myself to see whatever came through. I wasn't scared of anything. At that point, I think I was just so desperate. Honestly, I would have eaten my own poo to feel better. It was that bad. So I was just so desperate to feel better that I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. So I might as well just give it a go and see what comes up. And if I can make sense of it, I will. And if I can't, never mind. I'll just write it down and eventually it will make sense to me. So I really was that detached from the whole process. I didn't have any expectations at all and no attachment to the outcome. And I honestly believe that was my secret weapon, if you like. That was the secret to me being so successful with it. Because the minute I started meditating, everything changes for you. You start to see the world very differently. You start to understand why what has happened to you has happened, and why you got depressed, and how the world works. Like you just start to see things, not just people, but everything very differently. You start to receive downloads, like you're much more intuitive when you're meditating than when you're not meditating. It just helps you to reconnect. It basically helps you to reconnect to the all-knowing, all-seeing part of you, because we are that. Like, we are that. Even if you don't want to accept that, you know, like, I've got friends that want to do my courses, and they do my courses because they want to heal or learn to meditate or learn to heal other people. And they say, well, I understand all of the science and stuff, and I understand what you're saying, but I'm not that spiritual. I'm just not a very spiritual person. Yeah, you are. You are a spiritual person. You've just blocked that bit off. So, you know, you may have seen this drawing before if you've done if you've seen any of my videos or any of my work. I'm really bad at drawing, but one of the things I love to do is to just draw things really quickly so that I can use visual things to explain them to you, because I'm not very good on the computer, so it just takes me ages to produce anything graphically on the computer. So I just draw it. It's more fun that way. But basically, you know, you are an entire being, and you do have 7 energy centers running up your body. And these are the energy centers that connect you to your physical and non-physical self. And if you spend if you say you're not a spiritual being and you're very much materialist and very grounded, and you only like to think of, you're one of the people that says, show me the science, although you've probably never read a scientific paper in your life. You just believe the institutions that tell you what the science is. Don't be offended. I'm very no nonsense, and I do come across very direct. I am that way, so I'm not going to pretend to be anything that I'm not. You are all of this. You are a mind, which is in the field, a body, which is what you see, what you experience your life with, and a spirit. And all of these energy centers here are spiritual. If you've got a heart, you're spiritual. If you've got intuition, you're spiritual. Like, you know, you've got all of that. So you have all of this. You're not just this bit. You're not just from the solar plexus down, are you? Like, you're an entire being. So maybe stop saying that you're not spiritual. Maybe start saying, I haven't opened up to that part of me yet. I think that's important. Because you have to allow, like, when I started meditating, I think the reason I got good at it so quickly was because I allowed it. Like, I just allowed it. I wasn't scared of it. I wasn't worried about what I'd see. I just wasn't worried about anything. All I wanted was to feel better. And I thought, for some reason, I thought this was a way to do it. And I'm glad that I pursued it, because it's changed my life completely. And I'm able to teach others how to change their life doing it as well. So I basically started meditating, and through meditation and self-healing, hands-on healing, I was just led down a path. I was just taken down a path of self-exploration, understanding myself, the universe I live in, and how I interact with it, and how your life can be so wonderful one minute and not wonderful the next. Like, how can that be? When nothing appears to have changed, how can you go from mega happy to mega sad overnight? When nothing in your life, outside of your life, I mean, like, nothing in your life experience appears to have changed. How can that be? So it led me down a route of self-exploration, just understanding a lot of the works of, I don't know, like, I started with Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, so many, Dr. David Hawking. I became addicted to information. Honestly, I did. I became totally addicted to information. And I always warn my students against this now. And I say, you know, don't get addicted to the information, because you'll waste years of your life just being an information addict. And you don't really want to do that. You want to progress and move on. So don't get addicted to the information. Like, you need 3 things here to get total dominion over your life. And the first one is knowledge. Like, so information is important, understanding the information and making sure your sources are good. So you do need knowledge. Then you need a method to embody the knowledge, to implement the knowledge, to make that knowledge work for you. Otherwise, you've just got knowledge. Like, knowledge on its own doesn't change anything. You know, an unread book is just a book. It doesn't change anything. So You have to find a way to embody that knowledge and to make it work for you and to actually put into practice what you've learned. And the third thing is to keep practicing it, because whatever age you are, you've been practicing doing whatever you're doing that's got you this life that you've got now, or this health, or this mental health, or this physical health, or this job, or this relationship. Like whatever part of your life you're looking to change or upcycle, or whatever, or just to understand, you have to know that you've done it all in the first place. And so I think, all of the work I do involves providing you with some knowledge, providing you with a method, and then asking you to practice that, put it into practice until it becomes the new you, until that becomes who you are. And that's what I did. You have to do that, because if you don't, you'll spend the rest of your life looking in the mirror every morning saying, I am wonderful, I am rich, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work, honestly. I'm not a Debbie Downer on affirmations, by the way. Like, it sounds like I am, doesn't it? I don't do affirmations, but what I do is make sure that every day, everything I say represents what I want. Because that's more important. Because we have 70,000 thoughts a day. So spending 2 minutes in the morning on, I don't know, 10 of those thoughts or 10 of those affirmations, you've still got 69,990 other thoughts that are being had, and you're only aware of 5% of them. So being present for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the morning isn't going to cut it, is it? You have to make sure, like, everything that you say, every statement you make, you have to treat that as an affirmation. So every thought you have, whether you have it internally or out loud, the universe can't tell the difference, by the way, whether it's internal or out loud, but you're integrating, you're interfacing with the conscious field all day to create what you want. And if your life isn't what you want, then you need to stop saying the stuff that you're saying and thinking the thoughts that you're thinking and believing the beliefs that you believe. But how do you do that? How do you do that? That's the biggest problem, isn't it? Find a better feeling thought. That just gets on my nerves, like it really does, because it's a stupid thing to say to somebody. I've got a zone method that teaches you how to do it. We have 70,000 thoughts a day. Let me give you some quick facts here. We have 70,000 thoughts a day. We're only aware of 5% of them. So we're only aware of 3,500 of our thoughts every day. So we're consciously creating 5% of our lives. So 5% of your life is probably what you want. It probably is. Most people's is, maybe even more than that. But the other 66,500 thoughts that you're having every day subconsciously, they're creating your life too. They're affirmations too, but you don't know what they are. So you think it's not you that's doing it, but it is you that's doing it. So the most important thing to accept straight away is that there's only you in your creation. There's only you responsible for everything that you experience. There isn't anybody else. There isn't. And even if you think, oh, well, I can't control the government, and I can't control these people, and I can't control those people, or my partner's not very nice, or whatever, like whatever's going on in your life, I'm not poo-pooing it or downplaying it, because I've been through a lot myself. But I do know that my thoughts and my frequency determines how I'm going to experience those things. My reactions to things determine what my frequency is. So you have to be responsible for your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own actions, and your own reactions, because it's those four things that make up your life. Your thoughts create, your feelings attract, your actions and reactions determine your vibration, and your vibration determines how you're going to experience what you've created and attracted. That's the way it works. So, like, it really is that simple. Honestly, it is that simple. I know scientifically you need a 300-page document to prove it, but I'm not interested in reading that document. You can read those documents. I highly recommend Nassim Haramein. He's brilliant. If you're a scientist and you really want to understand it, don't ask me to bring you the science. I'm a spiritual person. I focus on meditation. I get that information through meditation. So it's not like you have to be a scientist to get the information. You can meditate and understand the same stuff. You'll probably understand it quicker, if I'm honest. And you don't have to prove it to anybody. You just have to prove it to yourself. Because once you know it, you can start using it and your life changes. And there's the proof, your life changes. So it's not about other people, it's all about you. It's all about what you want your life to be, because nobody else can do anything to change your life. They can't. Like, you think, oh, if my partner was a bit nicer, or if my this or if my that was nicer to me, if my boss was nicer, if I had that job, I'd be happier. No, be happy first. Like, you have to become totally accountable to be a happy person. All the time you're relying on other people to bring you happiness, you're not happy. Like, you're not. You're always vulnerable. So you've got to do it all. Like, you've got to get to grips with this. So introspection, the reason going back to meditation and healing, the reason we're all self-healing, by the way, nobody can heal you. There isn't a single pharmaceutical in the world that heals any disease or any condition. There isn't. There isn't. There's no healing or cure medication, right? That says it all. So, but people do heal. So how does that happen? We do it. We heal ourselves because we're designed that way. Like, we're actually designed to do it. The real thing is, what makes us sick in the first place? Our frequency. What determines what we experience in our life? Our frequency. How do we manifest what we want? Our frequency. How do we manifest what we don't want? Our frequency. Like, I think you've got the message now. There's only one thing you need to work on. Only one. And that's to bulletproof your frequency. And I like to live in a frequency of love, joy, peace and happiness. So bulletproof that. Because once you've bulletproofed that, yeah, you'll experience all sorts of things. And yes, you may be triggered or temporarily move into a lower frequency, but you'll see it straight away. The real trick is to become totally bulletproof. So it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's of no consequence to you. It's not your job to change other people. You can't do it anyway. It's your job to focus on you, understand your flaws, understand where you're going wrong and change that, because that is what creates your life. So, I did say I was no nonsense. I did say I was no nonsense. But honestly, everything that I do, all the courses that I put together, I trial them on myself, I trial them on friends, I trial them on clients, and I pilot them. Like, they go through rigorous testing. So I know they work. I do that because I have to be sure that everything I say works, not just for me, but for other people as well. So I do, like, I've been doing this for 13 and a half years now, and I've worked with loads of clients and I've helped them change their lives. And it wasn't always like this, like, it wasn't always courses. I used to have clients in here, hands-on healing, one-to-one coaching through the healings. When you start to meditate, you can communicate with every being, past and present. You can communicate with the entire field, and we're all part of the field. So you glean so much wisdom and so much information, so much wisdom. You don't need anyone to give you wisdom. Like, you can glean it yourself. You really can. So here the trick is to get some knowledge, follow a methodology to make that knowledge work for you, and keep practicing until you've changed. Because if your life isn't what you want it to be, or your health in any area, whether it's relationships, health, career, lifestyle, home and family, like in any area at all, if your life isn't what you want it to be, you're doing it. So you can change it. You create it, so you can change it. You just have to know how. And I have got a methodology, and all you have to do is implement it and keep doing that until you change, until you've wired yourself differently, so that you're no longer reacting the way you used to react, so that you're no longer having the thoughts that you used to have. You don't need to find a better feeling thought. You need to change your behavior. You need to change the way you react and the way you act, because that's what gives you better thoughts. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to be seeking for anything. And whilst I'm on that subject, you don't need to learn to manifest. You're a pro. You've been doing it all your life from the minute you're born. You don't need to learn, oh, I'm learning how to manifest. Don't be silly. You've been doing it all your life. You're brilliant at it. You just don't realise how you're doing it. So what you need to learn is how you're doing it, not how to do it. Understand how you're doing it already. You've always done it. We all do it. You've always done it. So that's another thing I focus on too. So we've talked about how we're responsible for our life experience. We've talked about the importance of meditation, because meditation helps you to connect to all that is. You're part of that. You're absolutely part of the overall field. You're part of all that is. You are all knowing. You just don't know that you're all knowing because you haven't communed with that part of you yet. Like, you just haven't. So start to meditate. It's really important that you start doing that. And I have got some other videos coming up about meditation because, of course, I come across all kinds of people. I teach meditation. I also do immersive meditations. I don't like once or twice a month. But, you know, I hear people say, I meditate all the time. I'm really good at meditating. And I say, oh, brilliant. Like, what type of meditation do you do? And they go, what do you mean? I play a YouTube video at night just before I go to sleep. That's not meditating. That's not meditating. So, okay, that's relaxing and it's actually good for you. It's like, I don't want to say that's bad for you. It's actually good for you. There's some really nice meditations on YouTube. I'm not dissing anyone. But playing a meditation from anywhere, any app, anywhere, even mine, if you're just playing it and going to sleep, you're not meditating. Like, meditations are meant to be completely immersive. Completely immersive. And that requires you to allow that to happen. It's not about you driving the meditation. It's about allowing it. And that's the difference. So putting some relaxing music on and relaxing every part of your body and then falling asleep, fantastic. You're good. You'll get a good night's sleep. We all need that. But don't fool yourself that you're a brilliant meditator. That isn't meditating. That's relaxing. I just want you to know that as well. And I say all of this because I want you to be able to do it all. Like, I want every person here, every person that's listening to me, and every person that needs to hear this, I want you all to know that you can completely reconnect to yourselves and you can completely lead the lives that you want to lead. You don't need anything outside of you. And the reason I treat this with such urgency now is because AI is here, and it's not a little thing that helps you write emails. Like, we know it's not that. It's not that. It's going to determine the new human, and I'm cool with that. Like, because we're here for it. But don't be forced to make decisions that you don't understand. Like, understand how powerful you are first. Understand how to reach your full potential. Like, I'm not going to be one of the people that takes the chip. I'm not going to be enticed by it in any way at all. I'm just not. Like, it doesn't really matter how they sell it to me. I don't want that. I don't want that. I like being this kind of human. I absolutely like it. And if I want to know something, the first thing I do is meditate. I don't go to ChatGPT I just don't. I just meditate and I get the answer. I get the answer. So I think today, AI is a great tool. I think in the not too distant future, it's going to overtake us in every way, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. But whilst it's being controlled by humans, because the humans that control AI are the same humans that control the world, and so, you know, like, there's 8 billion people in the world, and I think 7.9 billion people didn't want any of the things that are going on in the world to be going on. Like, none of us voted for that. Like, I firmly believe that. I don't think anybody wanted this, the conflicts that are going on in the world. No, I just don't think anybody did. And so if the people that are creating those conflicts are responsible for AI, don't trust AI until those people aren't responsible for it anymore. That's all I'd say. Like, that's how I feel about it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to use it and I'm not going to interact with it, because it's a great tool. I'm excited about it, like really excited about it. I think it's going to highlight lots of things, and I think it's going to bring out a lot of truth, and that's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people, but I think it's very necessary as well. So all I'm saying is, you don't need to rely on AI or question whether what you're hearing is true or not true. Quite a lot of it's not true anyway. You just need to rely on you. Like, you can discern through connection. we're taught to disconnect from everything that we are. We're taught to disconnect from all of our superpowers. It's time to reconnect. So it's time to unlearn some of the stuff you've learned, unlearn some of the human things that we've learned. Society has taught us, and we've taught our children as well. Like, I'm not here to blame anyone. The worst thing you can do is be angry about anything. The way to take back your power and to become completely empowered and awaken all of your abilities, amazing, powerful abilities, is to let go of anger and judgment and not care what's going on anywhere else, not care what anybody has done. Nobody's done anything to you. We were here for it. Like, we decided to come here. We knew what this world was. We kind of knew what we were going to experience. It's just that as soon as you get here, you forget, and then you spend the rest of your life wondering what the hell you're doing here. But, you know, in the end, you will remember. So, all I would say to you is, you don't need anything outside of you to know anything. You can know everything that you want through introspection. Because, like Nikola Tesla said, and he was one of my favourites, if you want to understand yourself and the universe, you have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And meditation is you connecting to that energy of all that is. You're part of it. You're part of that energy. You're part of that frequency. And you're part of that vibration. And if you learn how to manage your energy, your frequency, and your vibration, you'll live the life you want. You'll ride every wave gracefully. Every wave. It doesn't really matter what's coming or what they're doing or what these nutters are doing next. Like, it really doesn't matter. You'll ride every wave gracefully. If any of these topics have resonated with you, just follow me. Like, you know, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing videos frequently. They're all going to be a bit like this because I am a bit disjointed in lots of ways. Like, my courses aren't disjointed, they're very structured. But I want to impart information on here because I think people need to hear it. So, you know, today's messages are really about us and how powerful we are, and that we're self-healing, and that there's method in getting back to that. And I've got the method. And I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I've got the method. I just want you to know that. And I'm going to teach about that on here. Obviously, I teach more in depth in my courses, but I will be giving you information on here. I've developed a zone method which can help you to really become self-aware and understand what those automatic thoughts are that you're having, those subconscious thoughts, those 66,500 thoughts that you're having on a daily basis that you're not aware of, but they are creating your life. So I've got a zone method that teaches you how to become aware of those, and my next video is going to be about that, and how I developed it and how I use it and how you can use it. Like, all of my clients use it. It's in every single one of my courses, and I'm going to share my zone method with you so that you can understand at least what zone you're in and what are the steps that you can take to start becoming more aware of yourself. So I'm going to share that in the next video. I kind of want to say that you'll see it here or here or here, but I don't know how to do all of that. It will be called Liss's Zone Method, because that's what it's called. So just look out for that video next. I'll see you soon.